Welcome back to Rare Coins, all world coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters. Today, we're diving into a coin that might seem pretty recent but holds incredible potential in the world of numismatics, the 2018 Roosevelt dime. You might be thinking, wait, that's a modern coin, how could it possibly be worth anything? Well, stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be surprised at just how valuable this seemingly ordinary dime can be. The Roosevelt dime has been a staple of U.S. currency since its introduction in 1946. It features a portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, and is a favorite among collectors due to its sleek design and rich history. However, while most of the 2018 Roosevelt dimes you'll encounter in circulation are worth, well, just a dime, there's a very rare and valuable version of this coin that could actually make you a small fortune. So, why would a 2018 Roosevelt dime be worth anything at all, let alone a hefty sum? The key to its value lies in the rarity and errors that occurred during its minting. While the U.S. Mint produces millions of these dimes every year, some years and certain coins have subtle but significant features that make them much rarer, and thus, far more valuable, than their run-of-the-mill counterparts. Let's talk about what makes the 2018 Roosevelt dime stand out from the rest. One of the most notable factors for collectors is the minting errors that occasionally slip through the cracks. Error coins, like double dies or off-center strikes, are highly sought after because they represent a mistake made during the minting process. These errors are rare, and the fact that they exist makes them incredibly valuable to collectors who want something unique in their collection. For the 2018 Roosevelt dime, one of the most exciting errors involves double die obverse, where the image of Roosevelt's face or the date appears slightly doubled or misaligned. These subtle mistakes can turn an otherwise standard coin into a highly valuable treasure. Double dies occur when the coin die is improperly aligned during the striking process, causing the image or numbers to appear twice. If you come across a 2018 dime with these features, you could have a goldmine on your hands. Another potential error to watch out for is the planchet error, which occurs when the metal disc used to strike the coin isn't properly prepared. This can lead to coins being struck with misaligned designs or partial designs, making them highly collectible and worth far more than their intended face value. You might also want to keep an eye out for struck-through errors, which happen when a foreign object, like a piece of debris, gets caught in the press and leaves an indented mark on the coin's surface. These types of mistakes make the coin stand out, and collectors are always eager to get their hands on one. But here's the real kicker: if you manage to find a 2018 Roosevelt dime that features one of these rare minting errors, in pristine condition, it could be worth $44,000. Yes, you heard that right, $44,000 for a single dime. This is a serious find and a great reminder that sometimes the most unexpected coins can end up being worth far more than their face value. Now, you're probably wondering, how can you identify if your 2018 Roosevelt dime is one of these high-value gems? Well, it's all about careful examination. First, check the details of the coin. Look at the date, the image of Roosevelt, and the reverse side for any signs of misalignment, doubling, or strange markings. Pay close attention to the fine details because these small errors can be the difference between a regular dime and one that could earn you thousands. If you suspect that your 2018 Roosevelt dime is a valuable error coin, consider having it graded by a professional numismatic service. Grading will give you a better idea of the coin's condition and ensure that it's authenticated as a legitimate minting error. Before we wrap up, I just want to emphasize this: even though the 2018 Roosevelt dime was issued in large numbers, certain mistakes and unique features make it highly collectible and valuable. So, the next time you're flipping through change, make sure to take a closer look at your dimes, because you could be holding onto something far more valuable than just 10 cents. Today's video is for you. We're talking about the 2015 Roosevelt dime, yes, the one that you've probably seen 100 times in your pocket change. But did you know that this seemingly ordinary dime could actually be worth a fortune? Stick around as we explore the 2015 Roosevelt dime, uncovering its hidden value, rare minting errors, and why collectors are willing to pay a premium for certain versions of this coin. Now, you might be wondering, what makes a dime from 2015 worth anything at all? After all, this is a coin that's only a few years old. Well, that's where the world of numismatics gets interesting. While most 2015 dimes are worth just 10 cents, some of them are sitting on the shelves of collectors for prices in the thousands of dollars. So, what's the catch? The value lies in rarity, condition, and, most importantly, errors that make certain coins more valuable than the rest. Let's take a step back for a second. The Roosevelt dime has been around since 1946, honoring Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. The design has remained largely the same, featuring Roosevelt's portrait on the obverse, that's the front side, and a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse, the back. While this coin is often overlooked in everyday transactions, there are certain variations and imperfections that can make it highly sought after by serious collectors. So, what's so special about the 2015 Roosevelt dime? Well, as you might already know, errors during the minting process are a goldmine for collectors. Even small mistakes can add substantial value to a coin. The 2015 Roosevelt dime is no exception. The U.S. Mint produces billions of coins each year, and sometimes, in the rush of production, mistakes happen, but for collectors, those mistakes are exactly what makes a coin valuable. One of the most sought-after types of error for the 2015 Roosevelt dime is the double die error. This happens when the coin die strikes the coin more than once, causing the design to appear doubled. If you find a 2015 dime with a doubled image of Roosevelt or the date, you could be holding a coin that's worth significantly more than its face value. These coins are rare, and because of the mistake, they become much more valuable than a typical, undamaged dime. But there's more. Another error that collectors look for is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned with the die during the minting process. The result? A coin where the design is shifted or incomplete, which makes it a unique piece that no other coin will replicate. Off-center errors are especially desirable because they make the coin a true anomaly, something no one else can easily find. In addition to errors, the condition of the coin is also incredibly important. A 2015 Roosevelt dime that has been kept in mint condition, free from scratches or wear, will command a higher price than one that has seen heavy circulation. Coins that are graded as uncirculated or proof quality are always in demand, as collectors want to add these pristine examples to their collections. Now, here's the part you've all been waiting for. If you happen to find a 2015 Roosevelt dime with one of these minting errors, in perfect condition, or maybe even a combination of both, get ready, it could be worth $54,000. Yes, that's right, $54,000 for a single dime. Imagine that, a simple coin, something you might find in your pocket, suddenly worth a fortune because of a rare mistake in the minting process. For a dime that's barely 10 years old, that's a pretty incredible potential return. You're probably asking, how do I spot a rare 2015 Roosevelt dime? The first thing to do is carefully inspect the coin for any signs of doubling in the design, especially on Roosevelt's portrait or the date. Next, check the edges for signs of an off-center strike or other unusual features like missing details. If you think you've found something that fits these descriptions, consider having it professionally graded by a numismatic service to authenticate the error and determine its value. In summary, the 2015 Roosevelt dime may seem like a small, common coin, but for those in the know, it can be a treasure trove waiting to be uncovered. Whether it's a double die error, an off-center strike, or a mint condition coin, the 2015 Roosevelt dime has the potential to make you a serious profit. If you're lucky enough to find one of these rare versions, you could be holding onto a dime worth $54,000. It's amazing how a simple coin can have such a big impact. Today, we've got an exciting topic that might just have you looking at your pocket change a little differently. We're talking about the 2016 Roosevelt dime, a coin you might think is worth only a dime, but what if I told you that this coin could actually be worth thousands of dollars? Stick around as we explore the rare versions of this seemingly ordinary dime, the errors that make it so special, and how one lucky collector could make a fortune from a coin that's less than a decade old. Now, you may be wondering how a 2016 Roosevelt dime, a coin that's still fresh in circulation, could possibly be valuable. After all, the design hasn't changed much over the years. The Roosevelt dime has been around since 1946, honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt, and its design features his portrait on the front and a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the back. So, what makes the 2016 version stand out? Well, it's all about rarity, minting errors, and the condition of the coin. In the world of coin collecting, even small imperfections can make a coin worth far more than its face value. Let's dive into the most valuable feature of the 2016 Roosevelt dime, minting errors. While most of the dimes from 2016 were struck correctly and are worth only 10 cents, some were made with mistakes that make them extremely rare and highly valuable. These errors are what coin collectors are hunting for, and if you've got one of these error coins, you could be holding on to a valuable treasure. One of the most common errors in modern coins is the double die error. This happens when the coin die strikes the coin more than once, causing the design to appear doubled. With a double die error, you could see multiple versions of Roosevelt's portrait or the date on the coin. If you find a 2016 dime that has this kind of doubling, don't overlook it. This could be the kind of error that pushes its value way up. Another type of error that makes the 2016 Roosevelt dime stand out is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is misaligned during the minting process, causing the design to be shifted off-center. If you find a dime with an off-center strike, it could be worth far more than its 10-cent face value. Collectors love these kinds of mistakes because they're unique and one-of-a-kind, meaning there's no other dime out there exactly like it. Then, there's the matter of the coin's condition. A well-preserved, mint-condition 2016 Roosevelt dime is always more valuable than a coin that's been circulating for years and shows signs of wear. Coins that are graded as uncirculated or proof quality are in demand, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for them. If your 2016 dime looks as fresh as the day it was minted, you've definitely got a more valuable coin than you might think. So, what does all of this mean for the 2016 Roosevelt dime in terms of value? If you happen to find one of these coins with a rare minting error, in perfect condition, or with an off-center strike, you could be sitting on a coin worth $57,000. Yes, you read that right, $57,000 for a single dime. That's not bad for a coin that's less than 10 years old, right? But how can you tell if your 2016 Roosevelt dime is valuable? The first thing to do is inspect it carefully. Look for signs of doubling on Roosevelt's portrait or the date. Next, check the alignment of the design. If it's off-center or if any part of the image is missing, that could be a valuable error. Finally, evaluate the condition of the coin. A mint-condition dime can go for a lot more than a worn one, even if it's not an error coin. If you suspect your 2016 Roosevelt dime has one of these rare errors, you might want to have it professionally graded by a reputable numismatic service. Grading experts can authenticate the coin, determine its rarity, and give you an accurate value. Plus, getting your coin graded can help you sell it to the right buyer when the time comes. To wrap it up, while most 2016 Roosevelt dimes are worth just 10 cents, if you're lucky enough to find one with a minting error or in pristine condition, you could be looking at a $57,000 coin. It's amazing to think that something so small could hold such tremendous value. So next time you come across a 2016 dime, take a second look. You might just be holding onto a hidden treasure. Today, we have a truly exciting topic to discuss, something that might just change the way you look at your spare change. We're talking about a seemingly common coin that could be hiding in your collection or wallet, the 2012 Roosevelt dime. Yes, you heard that right. This dime, which you probably see on a daily basis, has the potential to be worth thousands of dollars, thanks to some rare features and minting errors that can turn an ordinary dime into a collector's dream. Now, you might be thinking, how can a 2012 dime possibly be worth anything more than 10 cents? It's true that the Roosevelt dime is one of the most frequently circulated coins in the United States, but just like with any other coin, rare errors or unique traits can significantly increase its value. When we think of rare coins, we often imagine those old, worn-out pennies from the 1800s or silver dollars from the early 20th century. But the 2012 Roosevelt dime has quietly earned a spot in the high-value collector's world, and if you've got one, you might be holding onto a hidden treasure. Let's dive into why the 2012 Roosevelt dime could be worth far more than its face value. The first thing to understand is that coins with minting errors are highly coveted in the world of numismatics. These errors occur when the coin is struck incorrectly during the minting process, leaving behind imperfections that are incredibly rare to find. And the 2012 Roosevelt dime is no exception. One of the most well-known errors that can occur on the 2012 Roosevelt dime is the double die error. This happens when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned or re-engraved, resulting in doubled features on the coin's design. So, what exactly does this mean? On a double die error dime, you might notice that Roosevelt's portrait, the date, or even the inscriptions are doubled or blurry. This is a key sign that you've got a special coin on your hands. These types of errors make the coin extremely valuable, as they are so rare and difficult to find. If your 2012 dime shows this error, it could be worth a lot more than you think. But the double die error isn't the only issue that can make a 2012 dime valuable. There are other types of minting mistakes that can cause certain dimes to rise in value. For example, an off-center strike is another error that coin collectors go crazy for. This occurs when the die doesn't align properly with the planchet, the metal disc the coin is made from, resulting in an image that's partially off the edge of the coin. If you happen to find a 2012 Roosevelt dime with an off-center strike, that's a serious find and could push the value of the coin far beyond its face value. Another important factor that affects a coin's value is its condition. Just like in any market, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in how much it's worth. If your 2012 Roosevelt dime is in mint condition, meaning it has little to no wear and tear, it will be worth much more than a dime that has circulated for years and shows signs of use. The better the condition, the higher the value. For a coin to be considered mint state or proof, it needs to have no visible marks, scratches, or other imperfections, and a 2012 dime in pristine condition is definitely a rare find. Now, we're sure you're wondering, what's the real value of a 2012 Roosevelt dime with one of these errors? Well, here's the shocking part. A 2012 Roosevelt dime with a double die error or off-center strike in mint condition could be worth an incredible $40,000. Yes, you heard that right, $40,000 for a single dime. That's a far cry from the usual 10-cent value, right? This kind of value doesn't happen every day, but if you've got a 2012 Roosevelt dime that has one of these minting errors, it could be worth a lot more than you think. And if you find one in exceptional condition, you might just have yourself a small fortune on your hands. So, how can you tell if your dime is one of these rare, valuable coins? First, carefully inspect the coin for any signs of doubling in the design. Look closely at Roosevelt's face, the date, and the other details. If anything seems off or doubled, you could be in luck. Next, check the alignment of the coin. If it's off-center or has an uneven strike, you may have a valuable error coin. And of course, consider the condition. If your dime looks brand new, untouched, and in excellent shape, it's worth much more than you might think. If you've got a 2012 Roosevelt dime with any of these rare characteristics, it's definitely worth getting professionally graded by a reputable coin grading service. They can verify whether your coin is indeed a valuable error coin, and once graded, you'll know its true market value. To sum it up, the 2012 Roosevelt dime is not just your average coin. If you're lucky enough to find one with a minting error, or if you happen to have one in mint condition, you could be looking at a coin worth $40,000. It's incredible how a small imperfection can make a huge difference in value. So the next time you come across a 2012 Roosevelt dime, take a closer look, because you might just be holding onto a rare and valuable coin. Today. Now, we've all heard about the big names in coin collecting, those legendary silver dollars and rare pennies, but today, we're going to focus on something a bit more recent, yet equally fascinating, the 2021 Roosevelt dime. Yes, you might think this is just another dime you might find in your pocket change, but trust me when I say this coin could be worth a lot more than its 10-cent face value. So, why should you care about a coin that's only a few years old? It all comes down to one thing: rarity. As a collector, you probably know that not all coins are made equal. And sometimes, a minor error or a unique feature can send a coin's value soaring. The 2021 Roosevelt dime is one such coin, and there are a few reasons why it's captured the attention of collectors and investors alike. So, stick around as we dive into what makes this dime so special, and why you might want to start checking your change a little more closely. Let's talk about what makes the 2021 Roosevelt dime so intriguing. On the surface, it may seem like just another modern coin in circulation, but that's far from the truth. The Roosevelt dime, in general, has always been a popular coin for collectors because it's part of the long-standing tradition of American coinage, honoring Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. However, it's not the regular version of this dime that gets collectors excited, it's the coins that have minting errors or show signs of unique characteristics. These errors make the coin rare and far more valuable than the typical dimes you'll find in your pocket. One of the main errors that collectors are on the lookout for is the double die error. This error happens when the coin die, responsible for engraving the image and text onto the coin, fails to properly align during the striking process. The result? You get a coin with doubled images, often making the date or Roosevelt's portrait appear blurry, duplicated, or off-center. This can significantly increase the value of the dime. A 2021 Roosevelt dime with a double die error could be worth far more than a typical dime, and it's exactly the kind of coin you'll want to keep your eye out for, but that's not all. Another rare trait that can elevate the value of this dime is an off-center strike. This occurs when the die doesn't align perfectly with the blank planchet, the metal disc the coin is made from. As a result, you might find the design partially cut off at the edge of the coin. An off-center strike makes the coin look uniquely imperfect and adds to its rarity, making it desirable to collectors. If your 2021 Roosevelt dime shows these types of features, you could be holding a valuable piece of history. Now, let's talk about coin condition. The condition of any coin is one of the most important factors that influence its value. The 2021 Roosevelt dime is relatively new, which means there are probably lots of coins in near-perfect condition. But here's the thing: pristine, uncirculated coins are worth a lot more than those that have been worn down from circulation. If you have a 2021 Roosevelt dime that looks like it was just minted yesterday, shiny, crisp, and with no visible marks or scratches, then you're sitting on a potential goldmine. A perfectly preserved dime with rare characteristics could bring a pretty penny in the right market. Let's go back to those rare errors. We've mentioned the double die error and off-center strike, but there are other minting issues to watch out for, too. For instance, a laminated coin, which occurs when a thin layer of metal from the coin's surface detaches, can be a rare find. It's this kind of defect that can make a coin stand out in the collector's world. And again, if your 2021 Roosevelt dime has any of these anomalies, you could be looking at a coin worth much more than 10 cents. So, what's the bottom line? A 2021 Roosevelt dime, with the right combination of minting errors or flawless condition, could be worth a significant amount of money, up to $48,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $48,000. That's right, a modern dime, minted just a few years ago, could potentially sell for tens of thousands of dollars if it's got the right error or if it's in mint condition. For many collectors, this is a game changer. It's amazing to think that such a small, seemingly ordinary coin could hold so much value. To sum it up, the 2021 Roosevelt dime is far from ordinary. Its potential worth is much higher than its face value due to the rarity of errors and the condition of the coin. If you're a serious collector, now's the time to check your change and carefully inspect your coins. A simple dime could be hiding a fortune inside. So, next time you find a 2021 Roosevelt dime in your pocket or loose in your collection, take a good look at it. Examine the details, check for errors like double die or off-center strikes, and don't forget to look at the coin's condition. If you find something rare, don't just toss it back into your jar, because you might be holding onto a small fortune. If you found this video interesting and want to learn more about rare coins and their potential value, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You never know what hidden gems you might find in your own collection. Thanks for watching, and happy coin hunting.